AEW-Some Pod. Johnny Taylor here. I am in a hotel room in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, uh, from my iPhone. So if it sounds a little bit different, don't stress. I did not bring my laptop with me, and that was a fail. I should have done that. I'm here with Gringo Fantastico. Gringo, how you doing?
Oh man, I'm just doing amazing, I guess, because of reasons I won't get
Okay.
into. But yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right.
He's
I'm
doing
healthy.
okay.
I'm
Healthy
healthy.
as a horse. Um, sometimes health is go, so sometimes you just got to take the win, and the other shit will figure itself out, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, for the most part.
Yeah.
No Diana Prince today. Uh, I'm not even sure why.
I don't know. I think she's maybe shooting something. I know she said she had that
Could
the other day.
couldn't make it. It's okay. It happens. I missed the pay-per-view recap. Sometimes life be life, and
Yep.
um, but we did watch Dynamite. I do not have my notes handy because I don't have my laptop. So, Gringo Fantastico, you've done us the great honor of taking down some notes, and you will lead us through the journey. And you're going to be working play by play. I'll be working color.
Nice. That works for me, man.
So let's rock. How did Dynamite start?
Okay, so we start off. Kenny Omega comes out, talks about his coming back from an injury again, and how he's very appreciative of the fans and his doctors and Will Ospreay. He thanks Takeshita for pushing him so hard in the match at Revolution. I mean, it's what you'd think a promo from Omega after he wins the international title. What it would be. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy. He just said, "Yeah, I'm going to defend my title," stuff like that.
A respectful babyface promo.
Yeah, he said he was like hyper focused on on the championship tournament, for the few weeks that we're going to get it.
Which
Um,
kind of got dropped on us.
yeah, just out of nowhere. Yeah, out of
Yeah, it was
nowhere.
just like, hey, everybody, we've got a whole AEW loves tournaments.
They sure do, and I do too.
So,
Um, I heard that this is interesting too because this little tidbit information I read, coming across dirt sheets. So take it however you want it.
oh, the
Uh,
dirt sheets.
so there's rumors going around that saying that they're going to combine the international and the continental championships.
I think that would be smart.
Yeah, less titles would be great because they have so
Also, they
many.
kind of mean the same thing.
Really, yeah. Yeah, they really do.
So,
Yeah, I'm for that. I think that's a very wise decision if it is true. But it's the dirt sheet, so take it however you want. You know what I mean?
right.
Who knows what those people come up with sometimes. Uh,
Yeah. A lot of times just out of thin air.
so like we see the brackets real quick. We see the brackets for this tournament a little bit before this promo, I guess. And what do you think about this tournament? Like the people that are in it?
Pretty weak.
Yeah, I mean, we have Hechicero and Orange Cassidy, which is,
Yeah,
whatever. We have,
we'll get to that in a little bit.
yeah,
A strange choice for a main event, but
yeah,
we'll get there.
yeah. I thought so
Um,
too.
I obviously we're going to talk about the wild card coming up. I don't know that I see anybody other than Ricochet as really being a guy that I would believe had a chance to beat Kenny Omega at this point. Maybe Orange Cassidy, but I mean I think the tournament is set up that Kenny Omega keeps the belt.
Yeah, since he just won it, I wouldn't see him dropping it already. But also, I mean, they, as far as the tournament goes, they did tease
What do
like
you
a little
think?
bit. Uh, I don't know. I think Kenny will keep it, but I think that they were teasing like Orange Cassidy and Omega having a match there for a few before he ended up fighting Takeshita at Revolution. So that might be something that they're planning. I don't know, but the tournament
Yeah, I
itself was
mean,
kind of weird.
out of all of them, I think Orange Cassidy would make the most sense. But you just giving Ricochet this massive push. So I would hate for him to lose just to kind of. He's got to, at least if he loses, he has to lose late in the tournament
Yeah,
uh,
agreed.
to kind of keep his heat. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But until then, we have
Right.
this. We start our Dynamite show, and it starts off with its first match, and it's a squash match. The Ops, consisting of Samoa Joe, Shibata, and Hook, taking on the household names of Vinny Pacifico, I think it was his name, Eli Theseus, and the Minotaur,
Yeah.
and Gabriel Eros.
Yeah. I was a little disappointed that they started with a squash.
Maybe everyone's just tired from Revolution still. I don't know, but
I think a lot of people got hurt, so
I would
I
think
think
so.
I think that this Dynamite was they were playing the cards they were dealt. So we end up with some local talent getting the quick kibosh.
Yeah. Um, like with this match though, like they must be planning something huge for the Ops because at Revolution, I don't know if you noticed, you probably did. Uh, almost every single men's match, they cut to the Ops looking in from the crowd in the stands.
Yeah, they're. Uh, I think they're planning a big push for Shibata.
That's different.
Yeah, I think Shibata is going to be a kind of a major player here coming up. So yeah, the Ops are they're kind of conglomerate, but they're more like they're like if you took a militia and the conglomeration, put them together, you got the Ops. I hate the name.
Yeah, the name's dog crap. I hate it too.
Yeah,
Like
it's
it's
like
it's
they
just
could have come up with something better.
anything better except for the Death Riders. That would have been worse.
Yeah, I mean, even the Death Riders at least sounds like a cool biker gang. The Ops just sounds like
I mean,
I
like
don't
they're
even say it.
operating, or they're like, I guess they're supposed to be like special ops or something. Like, I don't know. It's an odd name that doesn't really make sense for those three guys together.
Yeah, I low key hate it. So
Yeah, they're not batting too good, too well in the AEW with their names of their factions and stuff. Like a couple of them are
well, I
really good,
mean,
like Hurt Syndicate, but like
yeah, but I mean that was developed over at the other brand, really.
yeah,
So
yeah, it was. Yeah, they just had to change it so they didn't get in trouble. But
it's not a good sign that the best faction you've had is basically borrowed IP. So not
yeah,
a great look.
but you're saying Shibata's like going to be put. You think that might be the guy they push, and we'll get into that a little bit right now because Ricochet is backstage talking about his upcoming international tournament match, and he's taking on Shibata. So says he's
Yeah,
going to give Shibata the out and just let him quit now and all that stuff. So
yeah, I love that Ricochet. He's like, I don't need a robe.
yeah, he's like, I don't want that ugly robe anyway.
That robe's stupid. I hated it the whole time. Uh, Also, just so like he gets called bald so much that he wears a hat now with a suit, which I think is funny. Um, but I think yeah, Ricochet. I can't see them putting Vaughn over Ricochet. So uh, yeah, they're again kind of painting themselves into a weird corner here. But uh, we'll see. I still love the work Ricochet's doing right now.
Yeah. All right. So next up, they announced that next week we're going to get a rematch between Cope and Moxley for the title, and it's going to be a street fight. Just the match
Can't
we
wait.
need. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's more Death Riders interference for this type of match, and a potential feud starter, I think, between Cope and Switchblade. To be honest, which we'll talk about a
yeah.
bit later.
Yeah, and I called that a couple of weeks ago
Yeah,
when
you did.
Jay White did his very intentional foreshadowing of to see the win at Cope, the new champ Cope. I'm like, oh god, he's turning on Cope, and sure enough, the accidental interference in the main event at the pay-per-view, and you know, they're heading for a heartbreak here, to put in the words of Def Leppard.
Yeah, nice. I dig that. That's funny. Yeah, it is what it is, and they'll talk a little. We'll go into it a little bit more because they talk to Switchblade here later on in the show. But next up, we have Swerve, and he cuts a promo about being the first Black AEW World Heavyweight Champion, and how that's like a big, huge deal, which it is. Cope shows up. Yeah, really, and then Cope like kind of shows up and interrupts him and says, "Hey," because he's talking about like he's gonna take on Moxley, he's gonna kick his ass because he's the #1 contender and all that. Cope shows up and he's like, "Yeah," and they give each other the old like fist bump thingy. But then he's like, "You might see me first because I'm gonna beat Cope." And I'm thinking, yeah, right, that's not gonna happen.
So, right. But I loved the like, it's kind of an intense stare down, but like they give each other knuckles like we're baby faces.
Yeah, right. It's like
baby face knuckles.
Yeah, and that was cool. It was cool to see. I would like to see that match. I think that'd be a fun match.
Yeah, it's just one of those ones where Cope's kind of hitting all the people that he didn't really have a chance to work with, which I think is cool. So
yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, but yeah, Swerve and Mox are going to throw down at Dynasty. So, or we don't know next week. Maybe Cope. Maybe I'm wrong, and Cope wins, and we're going to get Cope and Swerve at Dynasty. Who knows? All I know is we're going to get somebody at Dynasty.
I'd rather see Cope and Swerve, to be honest. So,
oh God, me too.
I would love to see Cope go over here, and then I'd like to see him have just a short little reign, and then I think they should put the belt back on Swerve, to be honest.
Swerve was such a good champion.
I thought so too.
Like he was
he's the shit.
Yeah, and like Danielson was fine, like it was fun to see him, but like Swerve was like, I actually felt like the title had a prestige to it a little bit more with Swerve having it. It felt like it was someone who, could kick everybody's ass, and he was a fighting champion and stuff like that. But
yeah, it has no prestige right now. So
no, you don't even see the damn thing.
Yeah, I think that they have miscalculated this.
Yeah, it's like Mox
pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, it's like that. It's the briefcase, and I've said several times that the way they swing that thing around, there's no freaking 40-pound title in that briefcase.
Yeah, it's not in there.
And also, like, I keep thinking to myself, do you remember that? I know I'm talking WWF, WWE, but do you remember that whole thing where Undertaker had his urn and Kama Mustafa, like the Godfather,
the Extreme Fighting Machine?
Yeah, and he melted down the urn into a gold chain.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do.
That's kind of what I feel like happened to this AEW title. It's like Moxley took it to a gold person and they melted it down into something. Like that's kind of what I get from it.
I would love it. Like it's just a statue now. I love that. Remember when they had, not to go off on a tangent, but Kama was supposed to be like an MMA fighter, and it was before like MMA was super popular.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't even know what MMA fighting really looked like. And so when I saw like the UFC, I was like, oh, they're gonna be fighting like Kama Mustafa, and they did not.
They sure didn't.
I realized that Kama wasn't really an MMA fighter at this point.
Yeah. Speaking of Mox too, like he's in the back, he cuts his promo, he's overreacting, he's overacting his being unhinged.
Oh, this was a definite dramatic turn for Mox.
Yeah,
like it was very like cinematic the way they did this.
Yeah, and it's still like just him just be like pretending to be more unhinged than he is. He says he took out Christian, and this is like a pretty, it is what it is. He starts incoherently rambling about street fights and the rules. I kind of was having a hard time following him. Says he underestimated Cope, but he won't make the same mistake twice when they have their match coming up next week.
Yeah, so I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm like, this is going to be an overbooked ridiculously overbooked, Death Riders all over the place, street fight match. But there's a part of me that's like, because the fan base was so pissed off at Revolution about that last match, that maybe Tony Khan's like, okay, we'll do it the right way this time. You know what I mean?
Right. I would certainly hope that would be the case.
I just don't see it happening. I don't know, man. Like, I really don't want to hate on Moxley. You know what I mean? Like, I respect the guy for what he's done in CZW and the stuff he did WWE and the stuff he's done in AEW. Like, he has had a decent career. But it's like, with the stuff that's been going on with this, it's like, it's really just made me just not want to see him ever. And I don't like that.
Yeah, I always kind of liked him. And so this whole angle, I think, is the drizzling shits at this point, and they need to find a way out of it.
Yeah, and maybe this is how they do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, well. All right. So next up, I feel like this next match is a match that I helped inadvertently book, because we booked the territory.
Yeah, we do.
It's the first actual non-squash match. It's the second match of the show. We've had a lot of stuff. This is only the second match. We have Hologram Goldberg with Powerhouse Hobbs versus Brian Cage and Dralistico with Beast Mortos in his corner. So, first thing, yeah, go ahead.
I get what they're trying to do with, like, oh, they both need revenge over the people that beat them at the pay-per-view. But what world does this make any sense that these people are tag teaming with each other? Like, did they have like a game of Twister backstage, and they're like, okay, like who can we toss in together? Oh yeah, let's do Holla Hobbs taking on fucking Cage. It's the very strange booking here,
dude. Okay, so first thing, where's Roosh? Okay, second, where's Jake Roberts? And I said the same thing. Why is this Brian Cage? Why is it Powerhouse Hobbs? And I know they're having their separate feuds, but I want to see Roosh completely destroy Hologram, dude, because he would.
Yeah, I mean, here's the problem with Roosh is that I'm never sure if he even works there.
I know, we hardly ever see him.
Yeah, so what happened in this one? Remind me. I know Powerhouse destroyed a few people.
Yeah, okay, so right before I get to that, I talked mad shit about Hologram being pushed down our throats, right?
Right.
And I praise Beast Mortos, and I love Dralistico, right? I also praise Hobbs, and I praise Brian Cage. These are like all of some of my favorite people in AEW, right?
Right.
And Harley Cameron is involved in this too.
Yeah, which I loved. I loved her.
Yeah, like was the best part of this. But I think someone listened to our pod again and said, we'll make Gringo love Hologram by putting him in a match with everyone he loves.
Exactly.
I probably would have been
like,
yeah.
Throw Gringo a bone here. Let's put him in a match full of all of his faves, including Harley Graham.
Right.
And they will not let Hologram take an L.
He's got to sooner or later, because like I said, when if he goes up against Roosh and beats Roosh, it's like 100,000% bullshit. It's already bullshit that he can't beat freaking Beast Mortos, or Beast Mortos can't beat him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, so the match itself, all right. Dralistico seemed to have some issues working with Hobbs. Like, they had a couple
I saw
weird
that
spots,
yeah.
No one's perfect. You know what I mean?
Botches, I would call it.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, nobody that, in a match works perfect all the time. So,
right.
But yes, like Harley Cameron's in the hologram mask. We talked about that. So anyway, Hobbs nails Dralistico with like this evil ass spine buster. Hobbs gets the win, and that's kind of how it ended. And there was the one spot in this match that I absolutely fucking loved. And it was when Hologram dove out at Cage, and Cage caught him mid fucking dive and turned it into a suit. Yes. I was like, holy shit, that motherfucker's strong as shit.
Yeah,
Like
that
I
was my
watched that and I was
favorite
like,
spot.
that
Favorite
was my
spot of the whole show.
agreed 1000%. I was getting ready to say that. And the fans
Yeah,
fucking thought so too, because that was like one of the only things that got the, the chance of like, this is awesome. You know what I mean?
it was crazy. And yeah, holograms timing on that was so perfect.
Oh, I
Just
know.
like how he landed so perfectly into it. It was just a fucking sick spot. Talk about a spot that you'll see on like highlight videos for forever.
Oh God, yeah, and that was like the one thing I was like, all right, hologram. I don't have any problems with hologram as a worker because I think he's really good.
He's
It's
fun.
just, yeah, it's just I just don't. He shouldn't lose every match, but he shouldn't be winning every match. He's got to be what 732 in O now, something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, and I mean, 100 wins over Mortis or not Mortis, Mortos. That'd be weird if he beat Mortis
Yeah, that would be really weird.
because he's dead. But yeah, he's got
Weekend
100
at
wins
Bernie's
over.
match.
Yeah, seriously, he is the ghost. Um, I think, I think he's probably beaten the Beast Mortis 5 times, probably.
Oh yeah, definitely. At least,
So
and that's probably just singles matches.
yeah, it's like
Nothing. Yeah.
Hologram is the Harlem Globetrotters, and the Beast Mortos is the Washington Generals at this point.
On. Damn. Poor Mortos.
I
Um,
know.
but yeah, so like this matchup was fine. But if I were booking it, I would have been it wouldn't have been something that I would have picked. But that brings me to prize picks. That
Oh
was a
man.
really, really bad segue. But Johnny,
Uh,
tell us a little bit about it.
let's do it. So I've been on here for months and months talking about how much I love Prize Picks, and I do from a personal standpoint. I play Prize Picks all the time. It's the funnest way to get involved in the action. All you do is pick 2 to 6 player stat projections over a wide variety of options: points, rebounds, assists. Football season is going to be rushing yards, passing yards, passing touchdowns. Baseball season, hits, pitches thrown, strikeouts, anything you can think of, any player imaginable. You have your option to see, hey, are they going to kill it or they're gonna bomb, as we say in the comedy world. But it's super easy. All you got to do is download the Perfect app, use our code CC. You get $50 for your first $5 played. Does not matter if you win that $5 bet. All you have to do is put it down, and you'll get $50 and put it back, guaranteed. That's the easiest way to play. But play responsibly. Prize Picks, run your game.
All right. Thank you for that. Much appreciated.
Of course.
We have Alicia. Is it Alicia a tout? Is that her name?
Oh yeah, that's MJF's gal.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. So she's in the back with the Hurt Syndicate. MVP hypes up the team, gives them the night off. They don't want it, but they're getting it. So he's like, go have fun with the ladies, go, whatever. It was fine. Um, yeah, and yeah, and then they just kind of
The Hurt
ran
Syndicate is
off.
out there looking for pussy, baby.
Take note, ladies
Take
or
note.
dudes. Um,
Or dudes.
yeah. Tony Storm cuts a promo next about where she goes from here after a win over Mariah May. She says she's a swinger and everyone needs to put their keys in the fishbowl. I absolutely love that line. That was awesome.
She's like, let's get this orgy started.
She did another thing about like her at the zoo and she licks like a giraffe and it was so weird. She's like she roars like a
Yeah.
lion, but she's no pussy or something like that.
Yeah, the amount of collective boners in the arena was probably very high after Tony Storm's promo.
Oh, dude, she was getting like it wasn't necessarily cat calling, but it was like just dudes just yelled, "We love you. We're
I
not doing.
know.
Can I come?" Like one guy yelled, "Can
Yeah,
I come?"
look like a giraffe, please.
It
Um,
was,
yeah,
um,
it was definitely like earmuffs for the kids.
yeah, for sure. And but okay, so she does all this. She says the fishbowl line, and she wraps it up, and then out of nowhere, and I think I predicted this maybe a couple weeks ago. Megan Bain attacks her,
Yeah, Megan
and
Bain.
yeah,
Tony Khan, God bless him, but man, let it simmer for a minute.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
we're rushing into this one a little bit. I love Megan Vane. I think we all do here on the pod, but it's you let her build some credibility before they put her in a feud with the GOAT. You know what I
Like,
mean?
exactly, dude. And there's some more confusion with Megan Bain here later on, and we'll talk a little bit about that
Oh
in a
yeah,
little bit. But
that was strange. I got to be
y-
honest.
yeah, and I agree with you, man. I think it's too early for this. I
Too
was really
soon.
yeah, but I was hoping like she had said something in this promo about like belt collectors and something. And I was like, ooh, are we gonna get Tony Storm Mercedes feud? Because I would have been okay with that.
That's kind of what we need. That makes
Yeah.
more sense.
Yeah, and like two champions against each other or whatever. I'm like, like that would be fun. I'd be okay with that. But then again, I'm like, Mercedes doesn't like losing. So would she add
Yeah,
another belt to her collection?
yeah. I would hate that so much.
No,
If
it
you
would be
put
terrible.
Mercedes with Tony, it's like I would need Tony to win that.
She'd have to. She'd have to, or so many people would. More people would be making Mercedes Monet memes with her having Hulk Hogan's mustache and a bandana.
Seriously,
Um,
that don't work for me, sister.
exactly. All right. So next up, we have the first match in the International Championship Eliminator tournament. That's a fucking mouthful. Uh,
Completely. God,
we got
too much.
my yeah, yeah. We got my boy Beast Mortos against the wild card entry for reasons. It turns out to be the latest AEW signing, Speedball Mike Bailey.
Oh yeah, good old SMB. Um,
Yeah,
yeah. So at this point, when you see this, you're like, oh, I guess Mordos is not going to be advancing.
exactly. And I was already pissed off. I was pissed off
Yeah,
when I
that
already
had to
saw it was a
anger you.
wild card. Yeah, I was just like, God damn it. Like, uh but here's the thing, and I'll be fair. The match was pretty good. Like, I'm getting sick of Mordos being the whipping boy for the next flavor of the week all the time. No offense to Mike Bailey on this, but I
Yeah, I
will
love
say
Mike
this.
Bailey.
Yeah, he's really great. He was great in TNA. I loved and I enjoyed watching him. But the cool thing about this match was, even though I knew what was going to happen, they kept Mortis looking pretty strong
Oh, they
in it.
did, and this was a pretty banger match.
Oh yeah, it was. And but you know, Mortos had hella offense. But like I said, as I suspected, Mike Bailey nails a beautiful crescent kick. Man, I hadn't seen anything
Oh,
like that. Like that was beautiful.
well,
And I was like, I get it.
that guy's a high level black belt, and
It's like Taekwondo
uh,
or
I
something.
think it's Taekwondo. And here's the thing: Taekwondo is going to get your ass kicked in a street fight, but boy, does it look pretty. And he
Yeah.
looked, yeah, he looked. That kick looked amazing. So
Yeah. My only issue with it is like Mortos is wearing that fucking like mask, right?
yeah, it's going to
He's got a
protect him.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of protection from that. And it's like, I don't think it has the same impact. Maybe the kick's so good that it even goes through like heavy duty masks and shit. I don't know.
Should have
But
done it to his balls.
yeah, exactly. The whole thing though about this is like I said, the match was great. But why did it have to be Mortis? Like, I just wish they would have just kept him out of it and put someone else in there. They had a But also, Mordos, I think they put Mordos in these matches because Mordos can make people look good
Yeah,
and he can protect them from like looking the weakest. And with it being Mike Bailey's first match in and not being
yeah. They're
used
like,
to, yeah,
give him a sure thing.
yeah, and
Let's
they're
make
like,
sure he
well,
has a great match.
yeah, they're like, we'll put Mordos in there because Mordos will make him look like $1 million.
And Mortis is like the most badass jobber of all time.
No shit. He's like,
Like
if
I've
the
never seen a more intimidating jobber.
I know. Yeah, he's like, definitely not Barry Horowitz or the Brooklyn Brawler for sure.
He does not win though. It sucks.
I gotta let him freak do something with him, man. Like eventually, because he's so over with the fans.
Yeah, he's a badass.
He's just awesome to watch. Like anytime I see him in a match, I know he's gonna lose, but I'm like, man, it's gonna be a fun match.
Always,
Um,
never fails.
so next up, we have an interesting backstage segment here. We have Christian Cage with the patriarchy. He starts making excuses for his stupid ass decision to cash in during the match as opposed to like doing it after like normal people would.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, Nick Wayne flips out on him, calling him a liar and that he owes them an apology. And like, then Christian like flips the fuck out and he shoves him. And then Shania Wayne jumps in front of Nick and is like, tell him to back off.
Yeah.
That was weird, man. It looks like there's some dissension in the old patriarchy here.
Yeah, there's a couple things I loved about this segment. First one was Renee Paquette trying to interview Christian and Christian being like, "You're married to him. Get out of here," which I thought was such a great like way to
Yeah,
address it
it
because
was
it's
funny.
true. Like, oh, I'm supposed to like take an objective interview with like the dude I'm feuding with's wife. Like,
Exactly.
get out of here, dum dum. And then and then Christian with that line where he says, you know, your father was never your real dad was never a world champion, and
Yeah.
what a coward to die right in front of the face of his wife. I'm like, whoa,
Dude, and the weird thing is I think it would have been better if Shania Wayne over there would have sold that with a look on her face like, what the hell did you just
dude.
say?
Yeah, she did not. She no sold it, which I thought was dreadful. I wish she would have reacted.
Yeah, that was the only problem I had with this. I was like, I get Nick Wayne not want to say anything because Christian looks like he's gonna beat his ass,
Right.
but she should have like done something or like turned around and like just like I don't know. That was the weirdest part of it, but
Yeah, I think just like not a very experienced actor, probably.
yeah, I mean
But
it is what it is, but you know,
yeah, she should have sold it a little bit, like disgust or hurt or something.
yeah, or even Nick Wayne like maybe kind of starting to chest up on him again or something, and like maybe having Kip pull kind of get in there, but guys, we need to calm down. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Instead, Kip was like, "Oh my God, what's happening?"
I know he looked like a deer in headlights back there.
Yeah. He's like, "I just got into this cool faction. We can pick up now."
He is like I had to do all kinds of shit that I didn't like want to do.
I had to steal a pen.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. It was a special
Uh,
pin.
yeah,
Oh
it's
God.
yeah, the segment was mostly great, but had a couple moments weird.
Yeah, it's whatever. If they're going to listen to this, they'll fix it next week.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it'll be corrected in post.
Oh man. So all right. So Lexi Nair is attempting to interview MJF in his locker room. She opens the door. MJF's in there, just like looks like Macho Man when he was pissed off about Hogan and running off with Elizabeth. Like he punches the mirror in the dressing room, screams at her to get out, and
Yeah,
then
he was having a moment.
yeah, but then it cuts to the ring and MJF just comes down like not unhinged or upset.
I think that segment was supposed to be like right after the match at the pay-per-view.
Oh, is
I
that what
think
it was?
yeah, I think it was like him like having a moment of like doubt and reflection after the pay-per-view, and then they went to live action.
Okay, that makes more sense. I don't think I caught that part. So, but yeah, that makes perfect freaking
It
sense.
was
All right.
confusing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so MJF comes down to the ring. Says he's not done with Hangman Adam Page. Things are over yet. Things are not over yet by a long shot. Is what he says. Then out of
Yeah.
nowhere, MVP just comes out, and that was weird. And
Yeah.
talks about his history with him and how he used to drive him around when he was like 18, trying to break into the business. And it's like I'm only going to charge you for your wisdom, basically. And he said that he ran into him a bunch of times, proud of what he was doing, but he wasn't proud of what he wasn't proud of him for last Sunday.
Yeah.
And it ultimately it ends up with him offering him a card to join the Hurt Syndicate, which
Yeah.
really weird, but kind of
Yeah.
interesting.
Strange. And also I love the crowd's reaction when like MVP went out there and they hugged. The crowd was like, "What?"
We like MVP. What is?
Yeah, but they're like, it was an interesting layer. Like they showed that like MJF and MVP are friends. Like they're friendly with each other.
Yeah,
Um, I don't see MJF joining the Hurt Syndicate, but I think it's an interesting idea.
someone posted it was really bad. Someone posted a meme of it afterwards, and it popped up on my feed, and I was like, "Damn!" And it was a picture of they were like, "This is MJF after he joins the Hurt Syndicate," and it was like the Nation of Domination and Owen Hart. I was like, "What?"
I know.
Okay, so yeah, that was. We'll see what happens. It might turn out to be interesting if he does join up, or maybe he joins up temporarily. But I just don't see him and Bobby Lashley meshing real well.
No, I don't either. It's such a funny idea, but I think is this just a tease that goes nowhere? I'm afraid to
Uh,
say probably so.
yeah, maybe he's just there to hype him up, give him cheerleading or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see where it goes.
And speaking of hyping up for no reason, Max Caster comes down to the ring for his open challenge,
Oh
and
man.
Takeshita answers. Not expecting that.
Yeah, it's never a jobber. Every time Max Caster's like, just let it be a jobber. No, it's always like the guy that would be ranked in the PWI top 10.
Yeah,
And
and it was just like a massacre, dude.
Takeshita comes down and,
Well,
it doesn't
Caster
go
says,
well.
yeah, Caster says there's no way he's there to fight him because he'd kill him. And Takesha's like, the fuck did you just say to me? And he
Oh,
says,
he has
maybe
some of
he's,
the stiffest forearm ever, too. Oh, my God.
dude. He says maybe he's out there to recruit him for the Callis family so he can do what Takeshita couldn't and beat Omega. And that was the end of it. That
Right.
was the
Good
end of
luck
it.
with all that.
Yeah, Takeshita beats the living hell out of him, pins him, but then lifts him up at 2.5. That was awesome.
Loved it.
Nails him with the raging fire and then pins him, man. That this segment,
So
like, yeah, Jesus.
Max Caster's still in an O for on his open challenge.
Best wrestler in the world, my ass. Or
No,
best
it's not.
wrestler alive is what it is, yeah.
You know what he
Man.
might be though? He's not the best wrestler, but he might be the best smelling wrestler if he uses Mando. Uh, Max Caster, throw your old shit away. Get on the Mando train, baby. If you've got pits that stink, maybe your grundle area, in case you're wondering, that's your dick and balls. Maybe your ass crack smells. And we've talked about the underrated belly button scent. Uh, all you need to do is get a starter pack. You get the stick deodorant. You get the cream deodorant. You get a choice of two different things. It could be the wipes. It could be the spray deodorant. There's also this great soap that you can use. I think it's like what's it called? Like acid soap. I don't know, but
Yeah, something
whatever's in
like
there
that.
is pure magic. But you could smell like Mando. It's like it smells like bourbon and leather is one of the scents they have. That's one of my personal favorites. It just makes you smell fresh. But all you have to do is put in our code AEW at mandoshop.com. That's MANDOSHOP.com. Put in the code. You're going to save $5 off. That's like 40% off of the starter pack. It's a great deal for the starter pack, anyways, but you can save a little bit more money. But whether it's before a hot date or after a hot date, as we talked about a couple of weeks ago, after the gym, maybe you just had a long day at work. Wash up with Mando, throw that deodorant on, and you're going to smell like $1,000,000. Again, go to mandoshop.com, put on our code AEW, and save $5 off your starter pack, and join the revolution against swamp ass.
Very nice. Very nice. Oh boy. Okay. So next up, Jericho is in the back holding Gravity's mask, and he gloats
Yep.
that he gloats that the temperature has changed in the room, and he's stolen his brother's mask. He made his mother cry in front of him, and wants to know how he comes back from that. This is a little more serious learning tree Chris Jericho in the past couple days.
Yeah, I think he's almost ditching that persona that he built up. I think this is evil Hill Jericho. That, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me a little bit of his character leading up to his Shawn Michaels feud in 2008,
Oh yeah, dude, that's a
where
good point.
it's cold and callous. He's not wearing the suit or anything, but he's super cold, like unfeeling, doesn't give a fuck. All he cares about is himself. And it's one of my favorite versions of Chris Jericho.
Yeah, because man, he does. He plays this version of himself so damn well. It's like everyone loves the joking Chris Jericho and the tongue-in-cheek stuff, but man, he is just a mean bastard.
Yeah, he's
Like,
serious as a heart attack right now.
oh man. So yeah, that was a pretty good segment. I thought it was cool. It got to the point. It was real quick. It's still like, bro, don't take luchadors masks anymore. Don't make me come out of retirement. I will.
Yeah, I mean, he did it to Hoovy.
He sure did, and Hoovy never got back to the mask ever. I think he kept it off forever after he
He
was
never
done
had
with it.
he whole WWF run without a mask.
Yeah, that was different.
Yeah,
All right, so next up we have Penelope Ford versus Willow Nightingale. This match, back and forth, decent women's match. Nothing too noteworthy, but it was good. Willow hits a shoulder tackle and wins.
yeah.
Then the
I will
weirdness
say
happened.
Penelope Ford at one point bites Willow and then starts licking her. Uh,
Yeah, she has a weird licking thing.
Again, put the kids to bed before this match comes on. They're gonna have questions.
Maybe old Penelope Ford should be hanging out with Kyle Fletcher. They both seem to have a licking thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of although Sky Blue might have a problem if they got into a match together.
Yeah.
She doesn't want a lot of licking, I don't think, of her man. So
So, okay, so after the match, the weirdness happens. Megan Bain comes out again, and then she beats up Willow.
yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Pick a feud, bro.
Don't you love how they were like Camille was for like a cup of coffee and they're like, oh, we have a better version of Camille now.
But is she though? Because dude, Camille's NWA run was fucking spectacular.
It was, but boy, did she sure was not what's up in AEW, and I think it was just misbooked.
That's exactly what it was, and like,
And they
yeah,
blamed her. Is Camille even with AEW anymore, or did she get released?
I don't know. If I really don't know. I know she's in Queen of the Ring, so she did a lot of that.
Yeah. I wonder what's going on there. If anybody knows, let us know.
Yeah, hit us up on socials and tell us because I haven't really looked into the dirt sheets on that.
No.
So next up, speaking of Camille and stuff she was involved in, next up, Renee is backstage with Mercedes Moné. She can't really talk because she was kicked in the throat from that terrible match with Momo Watanabe at Revolution.
Oh,
It was so bad, dude. You were so right
woof.
about those two.
Yeah, yikes. I knew when I saw it at Dynamite and Collision, I was like, Momo ain't the one, y'all. This is not, they're not going to have good chemistry. And boy, did they not.
No, it was I mean, I guess their match's stardom was really good, but like, I just don't think Momo is comfortable working over here with the style.
No, she did not work the AEW style well at all.
Yeah. So anyway, like Renee's backstage, they're talking, and she's like, and Renee does the whole thing for Mercedes, her whole little say hello to your CEO, and then Mercedes is kind of happy until she finishes it, and she looks at her like, oh, that was awful, which was funny.
Yeah.
Billy Stark shows up again. It's like the third time and challenges her, and Mercedes gives the same promo as she always does. Billy's being out of her league. Same shit she used
Yeah.
on Harley too. Johnny, what do you think about Billy Starks being next on board for the Mercedes buries everyone train?
Well, I think it's good to give Billy a little bit of camera time for sure. I think, she's been a blue chipper from day one. She was wrestling in between, science class
Yeah.
as a so uh, I love Billy getting a little bit of shine, and just her being around Mercedes Moné and being in like the ring with her gives her a little bit of a rub as being validated and credible. That said, I think Mercedes probably probably they feud for a minute and she beats her. But at some point, Mercedes has to drop that TBS belt and get involved in the world title picture, or it makes
Yeah.
her look less than. And she's a fucking 7-time women's world champion, so.
Yeah. Well, like this. So I guess they're gonna. Is it next week? I think they said they're gonna fight, and the only way this match is interesting to me because I know like it's just like when Mortis is in a match, I get upset because it's like I know it's gonna. I love Billie Stark. She's great.
Right.
But I know she's not gonna win this. But the only way it's interesting to me is if somehow Billie does win. But then I had this idea in the back of my head is like, what if this is like the harbinger for Athena to show up?
Oh, that's an interesting idea. Because Athena, you got to think like she's had such a killer Ring of Honor run.
Oh
You
damn,
think she's
dude!
going to show back up at some point?
And oh my god, Athena's like freaking amazing, and I would love to see a Mercedes Athena like kind of not necessarily like a year-long feud, but I'd like to see a little lengthy feud between the two.
Right. A little Ember Moon versus Sasha Banks action.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fucking cool. I'd be into that. So
Yeah.
I hope that's what they do. That would be fun.
Yeah, I think that would be cool too. And I like the idea of Billie being on TV every week. So
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and you're right. It's a really good, even if she doesn't win the match, it's a good rub for her to be just on screen with like someone like Sasha Banks, who is, pretty big,
I'm
pretty
for
big
it.
deal. Yeah. And Bill, I've talked to Billie a couple times. She's a super, super nice person. Like
Yeah,
she's
she
just
seems
as
like she would
nice.
be.
Yeah, she's just as nice as she comes across. Like it's really cool. Except for when she dumped the tea on her the other day. That was funny.
That was rude, but it's okay. She's young. She doesn't
She'll learn.
respect her elders like she needs. But I bet
uh,
Mercedes shows her.
yeah, she sure will. So we're not getting a match yet. So next up we have Shivani interviewing Will Ospreay.
Man,
And
so many interviews, dude.
oh,
So many fucking interviews in this episode.
and I'm surprised Ospreay's still standing from that match on Sunday.
Oh, this interview was unhinged.
Yeah, he was all over. And basically just to kind of like sum it up, says he wants the world title and he wants the match to be the main event at All In. And then he warns Moxley that he's going to take the title from him.
Yeah, Moxley, man, probably won't have that belt by the time All In rolls around. If he does, I'd be like, whoa, okay.
Honestly, I think he will. I think that he's not dropping that title until their biggest show of the year, honestly.
Okay. Well, I'm all for Ospreay winning it All In. I'd be sick. But he does have to win that Owen Hart Cup first, which you mentioned, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot that
to
part.
get the title shot. Ospreay also says at one point, he's like, I made a deal with my wife that I wouldn't do anything crazy off the cage. And I did, so I had to make it up to her by taking her out to a good dinner and then basically fuck her. I'm like, man, this is like the TVMA Dynamite if I've ever seen it. He doesn't say he's gonna fuck her, but he alludes to the fact that he's gonna put the pounding on her. So I'm like, good grief. Where are we right now? Is this WWF in 1998?
Yeah, it's like, did you guys hire Vince Russo?
Yeah, I know. It's like, is somebody going to give birth to a hand in a minute? What's happening?
Oh boy. Yeah, this was an interesting little segment, but I'm all for Ospreay and Moxley at All In and Ospreay taking it from
Me
him.
too.
And it's not that far off if you think about it, because it's usually it's in like late August, but this year it's in July.
Yeah.
And so it's only maybe 3 months out, 3 or 4 months out.
Yeah, and it's a bummer, like the time they don't do All In over in the UK.
Yeah, he's in the main event.
Yeah, he's in the main event in Texas. But hey, Texas will be there for it. I guarantee you that.
Yeah. All right. So now we jump to another interview. Renee is backstage with Jay White, and she asks the $1 million question. Did he intentionally nail Cope with the briefcase at Revolution? He says absolutely no. He was there
Of
to have his
course
back.
not.
Yeah, that's what I said. Sure you do, bro. But he also wants to be the number one contender for the world heavyweight title. Everyone wants in on that bitch, man.
Yeah, and I mean they do have like 6 pretty credible guys that want it, which I think is good. You know, if you're not there chasing the belt, what the fuck are you there for?
Yeah, and it's and this is really something to say about AEW right now is that they have that many people that are viable contenders for their
Yeah,
heavyweight championship.
you got Swerve, you got Cope, you got MJF, you got Will Ospreay, and you got Jay White. That's a
And Jeff
murderer's row,
and Jeff
you
Jarrett.
know.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Jeff Jarrett. Yeah, I forgot about old Double J.
Oh, and then you got Ricochet too, who's like
Oh, I
probably
forgot.
wants it. Yeah, because he said he wanted it too.
Kenny Omega probably wants the world title at some point. You got a lot of guys out there want it.
And I'll just say this about AEW, man. Like, people talk shit, but they've got a fucking stacked roster, man.
Oh
They've
hell
got
yeah, dude! The
some of the
roster's
best. Yeah.
amazing. It's one of the best in the industry.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's like one of the best, and not trying to compare to the other show, but right now, man, I watch that other show and it's their big show of the year is coming up, and I'm just like, this is just not interesting to me.
I will say this for the other show. This is an incredibly weak lead up to WrestleMania.
Exactly.
It might be the least compelling lead up in many years, actually, since probably the COVID era.
Yeah. And it's interesting to see the dynamics, like, because it's like, I watch both shows. I have 2 podcasts and I watch AEW's, and I'm having a hell of a lot more fun watching AEW's like lead-ins, even though sometimes they're a little unhinged and all over the place. It's just more entertaining to watch, and the matches are better. They're not like, they're so vanilla over on that other show, man. Like, I see the same shit every week, and I spend more time skipping through the matches on SmackDown and Raw than I do watching them. AEW, man, I'm glued to the damn TV through all the matches.
Yeah, you need and the matches are just better on
Yeah,
AEW. You know, I hate to be that guy. I hate to Meltzer out, but
yeah,
AEW is not perfect. They got problems, big
right.
problems. You know, but WWE, you know that the matches are going to kind of not be great, and I think that's a bummer.
Yeah, it's they've got. I mean, they have potential to have huge matches. It's just they don't. I don't know what's going on over there, and I guess we
They
don't
do
need it.
not allow them to work a style that is, as exciting as you get in AEW or New Japan or even TNA.
Yeah, and it's just like you've got. I don't know. It's just, I don't know, man. It's a big reason why AEW, the guys that they try to sign in WWE, they go. It's not just because of the schedule in AEW. It's because they're allowed to do cool shit.
Yeah,
And
watch the matches with Penta in WWE right now, and tell me that he ever had a single match in AEW that was as bad as the matches he's had in WWE.
yeah, and it's not even that they're bad. It's just that they're boring.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, it's like it's very much it's just a watered down version of everybody over there, because they play it way too safe, except for apparently Kevin and Sammy.
Yeah, right. And they'll pull out all the stops at a pay per view and stuff. If you're talking about like TV matches, it's not even close. AEW has much better TV matches than WWE does.
Dude, even the Willow Nightingale match and the Penelope Ford match we just watched is like way better than the women's matches when Chelsea Green's not involved.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't have to stay on this. Like I said, I'm not trying to melt her out either. I'm calling it what it is. But I don't know.
Right.
It bothers me.
I agree. And, for all the things AEW doesn't do well, they put on good matches. And that's why their pay-per-views are such bangers.
Yes, and that's why I know I'm getting, even though I had to pay $50 as opposed to being on Peacock or whatever. Like, I know I'm getting my money's worth. Sometimes I'll watch Peacock's pay-per-views and I don't get my $5 a month worth.
I know. So true.
All right. So anyway, we yet again do not have another match. Renee's backstage again. She's all over the damn place, dude. She's
earned her money.
Yeah, like, I mean, she's got to be having some good tennis shoes. The freaking Bucks better be giving her some of their shoes. But but she's interviewing Hangman this time, and then MJF kind of bumps into the whole thing into Paige. Paige says he tried to light him on fire. He's like, when you do something like that, it means you do care what the fans think. I'm thinking, in what world is murder by arson a way to get on the fans' good side?
Right, I know.
Unless it's CZW or something.
Yeah, a little weird. Where he's like, "You're trying to be a baby face by lighting me on fire." I'm like, "Whoa, I don't know if you know how baby faces work." Maybe he doesn't.
Maybe. But he basically, MJF says, while Paige is climbing back up the mountain to try to get this championship matches, he's going to be laughing at him on his way up while he keeps trying to win. It was an odd segment.
Yeah, it was clunky.
I didn't quite understand where they were trying to go with it, because those two, you'd think that they just want to rip each other's souls out still.
Exactly.
But
yeah,
whatever.
I thought it was off, but they're not done feuding. Apparently, is what I.
No, and whatever. They have good matches, and I'm here for it. So next up, finally, we have a match, and it's the main event, and it's part of, once again, the Mouthful International Championship Eliminator Tournament. Oof. Orange Cassidy is taking on Hechicero. This was interesting. What did you think of this? Because I don't know if I have an opinion.
Good match, but I gotta say, like, putting Orange Cassidy versus Hechicero on the main event seemed like an odd choice.
I mean, good for Hechicero.
Yeah, it was
getting a main event match.
Yeah, and he's like, he hasn't even been around that much in the recent times. So I have nothing bad to say about the match. I thought the match was great. Orange Cassidy obviously getting the win, but and then Speedball, Mike Bailey coming out and being like, lurking while he's doing his, Taekwondo greeting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think it sets up a fun match between those two, but also just an odd match having the main event. Like I said, I think they were working lean this week as far as the roster goes. So, it makes a little bit of sense, but I like the match just fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was a fun back and forth. It was quick moves, expected Orange doing all of his spots and stuff, which I liked. And he put him in that mousetrap and pinned him. But it's
kind of sold the arm hurting. It was here's some decent storytelling.
Yeah, it was fine. Here's the thing though, like, do you think Speedball Bailey's going to go over on Orange Cassidy?
I don't.
I mean, I know they love Tony loves his shiny new toys over there, man.
He does. So it's possible, and that Orange Cassidy has no problem putting somebody over. So it might happen.
I think I'd rather see Cassidy win, but like I said, Mike Bailey just got there. I don't care enough about him yet. In fact, I rather don't like him right now.
Right.
Taking out Mortos. Bite me, douche.
You motherfucker.
Anyway, man, that was it. That was Dynamite.
Well, we did it.
We sure did.
We watched Dynamite. I guess we should probably rate this thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what to rate this on.
It was a weird episode, and it was so talk heavy. Yeah, it is kind of a weird one. I think I'm going to go with 3.5. What should we rate it on? I mean, I guess we could rate it on. Speedballs. John Belushi would not like that. If we were to rate on Speedballs, but um, yeah. What else was notable during the show that we could rate it on?
Ooh, crazy catch suplexes.
Oh, that was the one. So yeah, we can rate it on catch suplexes outside the ring.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so I'm gonna go with 3.5. Crazy Brian Cage catching hologram outside the ring, giving him a suplex.
Uh, I'm gonna go lower, man. Like this Dynamite didn't hit for me, and for a lot of reasons. Some selfish, some not.
Yeah, it
But
was
I'm
weird.
I,
It was hard to rate.
I'm giving it a 2.75.
275. That might be the lowest Dynamite rating Gringo's ever given.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's just didn't do anything for me.
yeah, the Ghost aligns with you. He's going with 3 crazy catch suplexes.
Man, yeah, it's
I
just
think I might have gave it in the 3s for that move alone.
yeah, that was definitely the highlight of the entire thing.
Yeah, it was. I liked the Tony Storm segment, but more than anything, it was just like a lot of confusion. That a squash match to lead the show off. It's just kind of a weird episode.
It felt like a really bad collision.
It was collision-esque for sure.
Yeah.
It
I
felt
mean, I
like a
get it.
good it felt like a good collision,
Yeah.
which
Yeah, okay, that's fair. We'll give it that.
Collision's been coming around, even though they had such a stinker the night I went. But uh,
Yeah.
that aside, yeah, weird episode.
Well, we can give some awards out.
Give
Um,
out awards.
the John Holmes Dick of the Week award.
John
Who do
Holmes
you
Dick of the
got?
Week. I gotta go. I gotta go with Christian for all those things he said.
That's what I went with too, man. What a dick.
Yeah,
Jesus.
and full dick mode, full frontal Christian this
He's
evening.
he's got more dicks in the bag than anybody when it comes to that award.
Yeah, yeah. He's hiding his briefcase. He's just got Dick of the Week's awards in there.
Damn. Well, we agree on that. Who this was harder for me, but I think I know. Who was your Dewey Riley hero of the week?
This was incredibly tough because it was very heel heavy.
Yeah.
Uh, and I'm gonna go with an unconventional. I'm gonna say Takeshita
Okay.
for so quickly shutting up Max Caster
So funny.
with
It was so funny.
that amazing forearm that just basically took the words right out of his fucking head. I loved it.
It was awesome. Um, I'm gonna go with Brian Cage because of that fucking suplex catch.
I agree. That was an honorable mention just for that suplex catch. Chico, California's own Brian Cage.
Yeah, man. I really like Brian Cage, and boy, that guy's strong as a fucking ox. Holy
Yeah,
cow,
he ain't weak.
man. Um, so okay. Now we have our Freddy versus Jason match of the night or showdown of the night.
Yeah. Uh, this one for me is it's kind of weird because we did have some showdowns. I like the MJF MVP bit of business. Thought it was interesting, but I'm gonna go as far as the match goes. I'm gonna go with that weirdly booked tag team match with Cage and uh, fucking Serpentico. Oh no, it's
Dralistico.
Dralistico.
Yeah,
I got my coast mixed up.
it's all right. It happens.
And then Hobbsagram.
Hobstagram. Yep.
Hobbstagram. Yeah, I thought that was a fun match. And if nothing else, it took you out of which was honestly like an interview show with a
Mhm.
couple of squash matches in there. So
Um, Mine was I went with as much as I am. It's begrudgingly, um, but I'm going with
Speedball.
Mortos. Yeah, Mortos and Speedball Mike Bailey, just because yeah, I understood why Speedball won the match, and also they Mortos still looked like $1,000,000, and he also made Speedball look like $1,000,000. So I'm going with that match.
Yeah, that's I think that's a good call.
But that's it, man. We did it. We got
That's it.
everything.
We
Yeah.
did it. Gringo, what do you got to promote? Anything going on?
I have my watch along for the season finale Fantastico Disasterpiece Theatre on Twitter X, and with the show being on Troma Now. And then on April 1st, I will be having my new episode, the Saturday morning cartoon especial of Fantastico Disasterpiece Theatre, also on Troma Now. God, that's a mouthful. But this will be a fun episode. I'm going to watch Toxic Crusaders, the movie, and my special guest is our lovely co-host, Diana Prince.
Also known as Darcy the Mail Girl, for the horror fans out there. That's gonna be fun. I can't wait to tune in.
Thanks, man. And you've got a crap ton of stuff going on. You are just busy as hell right now.
So I'm in Philadelphia now. Last night at the Philly Punchline, 2 tonight, 2 Saturday. And then I'm home doing some local shows, but at the end of the month, March 28th and 29th, I will be at the Saturday Comedy Club in Eureka, California. And I'm headlining that weekend. And my girlfriend, Holly James, will be featuring for me. So come on out. Those are going to be great shows.
Man, that's awesome. I need you. I need you to get you to come to my neck of the woods so I can go.
I know Posehn is in Fort Wayne.
I saw that.
This weekend, and if if you wanted to go over, I don't know how close Fort Wayne is, but
Not too far.
I can definitely get you on the guest list if you wanted to go out.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, I'll text you.
Just let me know. Let me know off air, and we'll figure it out.
Cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Cool.
Thanks everybody for joining us for the awesome pod. Please, I'll let you do this better than I do. I'll let you wrap it
Raggedy bitches. Thanks so much for joining us. Rate, review, and subscribe. We've been pretty good. We've had good ratings the last month or so. So thanks so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Diana Prince will be joining us for our next episode, presumably taped this weekend at some point. And until the next time, you guys, namaste EW.
Namaste EW.